Hello everyone. So considering that Season 8 is coming to an end and Season 9 is about to begin in Infinity ITS, I thought I'd kind of run through some of the ideas I'm having because I'm thinking about playing Haqq for the next season. I've never dabbled with Haqq before. There are so many different units in vanilla Haqq that I don't really know where I'm starting, so I thought if I just kind of talk you through what I'm thinking about doing, and then you guys can leave me some comments and criticisms in the comments below. Haqq. So one of the things that I want to do this season that I haven't done in comparison to the other seasons is that I want to become a bit more adept at some of the areas where I'm not too good at the moment, and some of that is hacking and using tags. Two things that just never really came to light when playing Toha because they were rubbish at it, or they just didn't fit with kind of the flow. I'm playing vanilla Haqq because I want to use the Magariba Guard. So that's kind of one of the things that this army is going to be focused around. So the list that I'm going through as well, it's not literally set for any specific missions that I've got in mind. However, one of the things I learned from playing last season, especially with Limited Insertion, is that if I practice again and again and again with the same force and don't vary it, I inevitably get quite good at it. So this is going to be sort of almost an all-comers kind of list. So yeah, kind of built around the Magariba Guard. But let's start at the very top then. So one of the things I'm thinking about having is everyone talks about Saladin a lot, and I think that's really cool. Strategos level 3 looks pretty awesome in that you can, do variants of, I can change, at level 1 I can change the LT order into an extra order, which could become really useful, especially if I'm running that Maggie down the middle. I could, force my opponent to not hold a mini back, or I could hold 2 minis back in deployment. So for setup it's quite good. However, I want punch. I want something that isn't just kind of useful in certain situations. I want something that's going to be keen and reliable. So with the new Beyond Red Veil box, I'm looking at having Tarek. One of the things I do like about Tarek as well is that he has a Spitfire, and I friggin' love Spitfires. So let's get him on this list straight away. Tarek Mansouri. So he seems quite cool in that he's got bioimmunity, poison, and he's got that new rule, fatality level 2. So he crits on not only the number you need to crit, but also a 1, which I think is really cool. And he's got super jump, so he kind of he can move about a fair bit. He is expensive at 55 points though, but he's got reasonably decent armor and BTS for that, so not too bothered. But it is 1.5 SWC, which is something I'm certainly going to be short in an army with the Magariba Guard. So whilst we're on that, that is going to be another key point. So let's add Maggie. Now, I was talking with Joe, one of the guys who games up in Edinburgh, and I said about how I think it's really cool that Maggie has 360 degrees. And he kind of highlighted to me that it's 20 points, and in Haqq 20 points goes a really, really long way. So I think I'm going to go for the option that just has the multi-HMG and the heavy flamethrower. I'd rather have the heavy flamethrower over the heavy pistols. If it's in close combat with something I've fucked up too much, and I can flame it on the way in, as long as I can see it. Whereas the heavy pistols I'm not too sure about, to be honest. I think it's got you more utility to go around the corner and flame everything when it's not in HMG range. So the next thing that is on my list is I need some punch. More punch. I love the punch. So one of the things I learnt last season as I was playing with the Toha is my favourite piece in the entire game was the Sukiel missile launcher. I thought it was really good having burst 2 when it's in a triad. So one of the things I've chosen for this list is I either want a Sec Ban, which has 360 degree range, which I think is pretty cool. It's got armor 3 and BTS 3, which I think is nice. Now, it's not as good in ARO as the Sukil and the Triad. It's going to be burst 1 back, but in its active turn it's burst 2 on a heavy rocket launcher, which I think is pretty awesome. I've thought about fire teaming them, but I haven't really got the points to play with. The other option at some point is maybe I'll swap that out for an Alpha Seed with a heavy rocket launcher, but that is a lot more points. But then you're talking sort of armor 6 if I'm not wrong. So that is pretty badass. Let's just have a quick look at that, because that's going to be pretty cool. So the Alpha Seed, armor 5, sorry, so there'd be armor 8, and that's armor 11 when you're in cover. It's pretty good if you could stick, you know, I'd think about sticking that on the top in cover and just looking up the whole range of the battlefield, and you can really murk a lot of stuff with that. And the cool thing is, it's got 6 cents too. So maybe at some point I think about that or the HMG. I do really like that option, but in terms of the points, if I'm having Magari Brigade, I can't have it. It's just too expensive. So those are probably the 2 things that I'm going to swap in and out. So now I need some orders and I need some stuff to actually complete objectives. So when I've got the Magari Brigade in, I need an engineer because it'd be silly not to. However, upon looking at it, I don't think I can afford a Nazmat remote, which sounds bizarre, but you'll see a little bit later why I'm not having one. So I've got my first one, I've got an engineer. It should help keep the Magari Brigade alive, and if anyone adhesive launches me, I can engineer them out. Or if it gets hacked, I can unimmobilize it, which should be quite nice, and get a couple of objectives. I'm pretty sure with such a large target, if I do pull the classified where you need to, I think it's not retro engineering, is it? Might be. I'll be able to pull that off because it's massive and it's going to take some wounds. So then in terms of like what's next is Luke very kindly gave me a hacker. So I'm looking forward to getting some use into how to hack. It's an assault hacker, which I think has the most versatility. I was looking at killer hackers and that looks really nice because you can blow someone's brains out, which I think is awesome. However, I think you get more programs with a bit more utility when you go for an assault hacking device. So I'm going to have the Al Hawaha with an assault hacking device. It's got infiltration and camouflage, so that should keep it alive for a bit if I need to sneak up and get some of those classifieds. And alternatively, you know, I can kind of keep it in close proximity to the Maggie to try and unhack some stuff with firewalls and all that stuff that I don't understand yet. Then in terms of what I've got here, so I've got 5 orders. I need to be getting some proper orders down to pump into those guys, and I also need some other types of specialists to do some missions. So I'm going to have at least 1 doctor and then 2 forward observers, which are just normal gulams. They're so cheap you can't not. And the cool thing is that they've got Doctor Plus as well. Then what are we up to? We're up to 8 orders. So then I quite am used to playing McCool's, running up heavy flamethrowers. So I'm going to at least take 2 Nafatans, which has some decent heavy flame. Oh, sorry, light flamethrower. I'm going to pay the extra point and get the heavy flamethrowers. So I'm going to have 2 of those. And then in my second group, I'm definitely going to take at least 2 Mutaweers. Now, I've heard Muts are fantastic. They're only 5 points. They're in a regular order. But they've got a chain rifle, an Emarat and jammer, which sounds awesome, so I can do stuff through walls within 8 inches and really mess up someone's day. But importantly, they've got smoke grenades, which I don't have yet. So I think I'm going to need that. And then, what else was I thinking of having?
1 hour later.
So that's quite boring. But what it means is that I don't have to buy as many packs. So should help me actually get it out a bit sooner. Plus they all seem quite good and I could do with the orders. So that was kind of what I was thinking. I'll show you the list. So I was thinking about having that. I'm not entirely sure what you guys think about that, but that is kind of where I was thinking of going. Like I said, the alternative would be to have an Alpha Seed in, or one of the things that comes in the Beyond Red Veil box is the Fidei. The Fidei could be really nice, although I don't really know a great deal about it. If I can even find it, because these are so many things. Fidei. So the Fidei looks like it's an impersonator. It doesn't have any weapons that I'd be really ecstatic to use. It looks really good in close combat. It's got close combat 21. Could be quite interesting, but I'm not thrilled about it. The thing I am more interested is seeing if I could fit in the Alpha Seed, which would mean my list would look like. I prefer the heavy rocket launcher at this range. I think I think that's what I would prefer. So I've got 45 points I need to get rid of, which is a flipping lot, isn't it, really? So I could take out the Magariba Guard, and then that leaves me more points. And probably what I would do then is, I've still got a lot of. So I could take out the Sekban potentially, but then if I'm doing that, it might as well make more sense to keep the Sekban and change him to a HMG. Brings me up to 275, and as a result, I would probably have some. So you've got the Rajiks and the Bashi Bazooks. Dropping with the Spitfire, which is probably going to be about the right range, but that's too expensive. So it's 25 points, but at least it's dogged. And the Bazooks are 15 points. So could take that. It still takes me over. Take out a mutt for one of those guys. So that's possibly the second type of list that I might do. If I wasn't to run the Magariba Guard, but I really like the model. I really like the look of it. So I think that's probably what I prefer to go with, but this could be a bit of a change up. Not a great deal of specialists in there, to be honest. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which isn't too bad, I don't think, but depends on the mission, I suppose, doesn't it? So that's kind of my thoughts at the moment. I'm probably going to be looking at ordering soon because there are some good deals on at the moment, so I'm going to try and get some stuff on payday on Thursday, and then hopefully start painting. I've been looking at paint schemes, and I think I'm just going to go with what Angel's got in his volume 2. I think it'll be nice and easy just to do, and I'll probably stick with that. That way I can just kind of like spray them all with my airbrush and kind of get them out nice and quick, I think. I'm starting to go off the idea of getting them commission painted. There are other things I want to buy this month, so I don't think I'm going to spend the money on that. However, I'm probably going to start straight out the bat in ITS Season 9 and go up with Pete from straight out of Caledonia to a tournament in Hull, which will be really nice because I'll hopefully get to see the guys that I don't get to go see very often. So I'm looking forward to that. So if you guys could let me know what you think of this list. Is there anything you think are a must include in Haqq? Is there anything that doesn't look too well for you? I think my playstyle usually seems to be that I would have a big ARO piece in the middle, which is what I like about the heavy rocket launcher. Someone behind him prone, healing it back up if it goes down. And then I've got my guys to sort of run forward with smoke and make my way forward to the objectives. But I'm a very defensive player as opposed to offensive, so I'm not about that alpha strike. which the Bashi Bazooks might teach me how to if I do that, but I'm not so sure about those guys yet. One thing I'm disappointed is that I can't use the Fat Yan Yans. I'm not ready to go down Kabukauki, but they are such cool minis. I might use them as Bashi Bazooks whilst I'm playing at home. Maybe not for the tournaments though. So yeah, I'd appreciate your comments and criticisms if you guys could get back to me, and hopefully this is something I can keep updating you guys on as I get going. So take care, and I'll catch up with you guys soon.